lot of opportunities to sit down with a genuine constitutional scholar. But our friend Robert Brown, who is the field coordinator of the John Birch Society for Eastern Montana, Western South Dakota,
That's correct.
is, I believe, someone who fits that description, a constitutional scholar. In fact, the mission, in case you didn't know, of the John Birch Society is fundamentally to promote and educate about the intent of the Constitution. Am I close?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, there are some interesting things going on right now. There are some people promoting the idea that we need to somehow revise the Constitution. And so, for your listening pleasure, I'm going to hand the mic over to you, Robert, and ask you to share your thoughts on this constitutional convention that some are promoting.
Thank you. And you know, those that are promoting this won't call it a constitutional convention. They want to refer to it as an amendments convention or a convention of the states. But what we're really talking about here is an Article 5 convention. It's authorized by Article 5 in the U.S. Constitution, where it describes the ways in which we can amend the Constitution.
So it's a legitimate proposal in that sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And by citing Article 5, what they're looking to is that Article 5 says that upon the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the states, Congress can call a convention, actually Congress shall call a convention for proposing amendments. And that's what it's based on. So there is a power there for the state legislatures when 34 states want to make an application for a convention, then Congress calls a convention. But one of the strange things they say is this is a way for the states to bypass Congress in the amendment process. But right there it says that when the states apply, then Congress calls the convention. And legal scholars will differ back and forth on this, but that definitely puts some authority in the hands of Congress. It's generally assumed that Congress has the power to decide when and where the convention would meet.
You know, that's a scary thought in and of itself, putting any more authority in the hands of Congress.
Well, yes, yes. And there's a lot of concern here of what could be the outcome. Generally, people will agree with me that he who chooses the delegates to a convention will choose the outcome. If I'm handpicking a bunch of very original intent constitutionalists to the convention, it'd be a very different outcome than if Nancy Pelosi is choosing the convention delegates.
It's a little bit like I don't remember who said it, but they've said it doesn't matter who you vote for, it matters who counts the votes.
Yes, yes. It also matters who gets to choose the people you vote on.
Yes.
If I get to choose both candidates, you can pick either one, I really control the outcome.
That's correct.
So with this amendments convention concept, what they're really proposing here is that the root of the problem is the Constitution has certain flaws. And I don't see that being the problem our nation's facing today. It isn't that flaws in the Constitution have authorized this out-of-control spending and so on that we're facing. It's that ignoring the Constitution is the root of the problem.
Well, our president just gave us a great example of just exactly what you said. He just recently, when there was a problem with Obamacare, not that there aren't plenty, but he just said, well, I'll just take care of it. He's basically ignoring the law.
Just going to rewrite it himself.
And rewrite it himself.
Right.
My.
Well, you know, Article 1, Section 1 of the Constitution says only Congress has the power to legislate. And we've heard our president say things like, well, if Congress won't act on this, maybe I will. And he acts as though he has equal authority to Congress to create new law, which directly contradicts what the very first line after the preamble says in the Constitution. Only Congress has the power to legislate. So what we really need here is a return to the original intent of the Constitution. We don't need to change the Constitution. We just need to start using it again.
Well, my challenge to people who believe that we need a constitutional convention of some kind would be this. Let's first apply the principles that are already articulated in the Constitution, and when we are doing that, then let's examine again whether we have a need to change it.
Absolutely. And I always maintain that over 80% of what the federal government's doing is not authorized by the Constitution. If we eliminated that, I think we'd solve about 80% of our problems.
Well, can you imagine? Eliminating 80% of the national debt wouldn't be a bad place to start. Thanks for watching today, and we'll be back with more with our friend Robert Brown, so you'll want to watch again next week.